Okay, part four. Another reason why this is gonna. Damn it! I just wish it would stay in place. Okay, there we go. This is the next part. I think we're on part three actually, on why all this stuff to raise the birth rates is going to epically blow up in their faces and explode into 1,000 little pieces, and we'll never be able to put it all back together again. The third primary, well, not third. Actually, I think we're on a fourth now. Damn, I can't keep them straight in my head. The next problem is that human beings have the ability to leave their country, and there's a lot of women uh, are more educated now. They have higher paying jobs now. Do you actually think that they're just going to allow themselves? Do you think they're just going to stay in a theocracy because it benefits you? A lot of these women are not like the women in the 1950s who they didn't even have a credit card. They couldn't have a credit card in their own name unless a male signed off on it. That was until like 1973 or so. So again, these people are counting on the fact that that these policies are just going to have the absolute mirror effect. No, they won't. It's literally going to be impossible because there are millions of women, educated women, once they start seeing that they're not living in a democracy anymore. What? Because my prediction is going to be a simple one. If Donald Trump wins, there you go. If he loses, he will appeal, and then I don't think it'll matter what the results are. The Supreme Court will just declare him the winner anyways. That's my theory. That's my guess on what's going to happen. But do you really think millions of women are just going to wait and not leave the country or go somewhere else because they don't want to tolerate that, because they don't want to lose their livelihoods? Put yourself in the position of a woman. Let's say you're a woman, you're making a lot of money, you have a really great career, and then you find out a bunch of right-wing theocratic individuals have now taken control over the government. And you have a month or two to decide whether or not you want to stay. Do you actually think most of these women want to do that, will put themselves there and say, you know what? I think what's a perfect dating ground for me is a bunch of theocratic assholes who don't think I deserve rights. You know what they're going to do? They're going to get on their computer and they're going to go places to live. And they're going to look at all the different countries. They'll be say, let's see what New Zealand is all about. Let's see what Iceland's about. Maybe I can just move to Mexico. I heard that they legalized abortion recently, or whatever. Whatever their decision is, they're going to do their research. Now, the new administration doesn't take effect until the next year, so they have time to basically take a look at this and go, I don't really want to stick around here. I don't feel like waiting until somebody grabs me or pulls me into something that I can't get out of. That's the problem. There are millions of women who will have that thought process. And if those millions of women leave, you know what that means? That means you're going to have to import people to make up for the millions that you just lost. But can you really do that? Are you going to do that? I'm not so sure. But I think this is a case of, unlike the 1950s, where a lot of these women were trapped in their relationships, they really didn't have options. They do now. And I'll tell you what, if I was a woman and I had a high paying job and I found out that the United States was going to turn it into a theocracy and I had 2 months to leave, you know what I'm doing? I'm taking everything I can and I'm bailing. I don't care if I would have to go to another country. I don't care how I would do it. I just bail. I just immigrate out of the United States. I wouldn't even bother. And if they were foolish enough to give me time to immigrate after they gain power in 2025, I would just basically say, look, if you're not going to stop me, I'm just going to contact other people. I'm going to look for jobs overseas, or I'm going to go across the border. What the fuck are you going to do about it? Right? I just don't think they understand that they're not going to magically just force women to give up their jobs to give up their dreams, and that women are just going to do nothing about this and let themselves get walked on. Again, these are American women. These aren't women from the Middle East. People who are literally have their spirit beaten and broken down, who are subjugated by violent men. These are people who have experienced freedom for at least 5 to 6 good decades, a general amount of, not entirely absolute freedom, but a general amount of freedom for decades. But they're going to give that up for you. What are you offering these women? That's another thing that these assholes never think about. What are you offering them that's so fucking great? What are you offering these women? Because guess what? The average male is nothing to speak about. How much does the average male make? How much does the average male, how many men are actually in the middle class anymore? A lot of people they try to give women shit for this, but this is reality. If you want a higher quality of life, you need a higher quality man. You can bitch about it. You can try to impart your pathetic moral judgments on the woman, but let's face reality here. A lot of men are dicks, and you don't even know which ones are dicks until it's too late. So if you have a choice between the poor dickhead, who's probably only making $35,000 a year and who's going to treat you like absolute shit, or the rich dickhead, like if you ever seen Cobra Kai, that mother was a smart mother because she knew that men were dicks, but she chose the rich dickhead so that her son could take karate classes, so that her son could have a higher quality of life. Now, if you are presented with two fucking assholes in the room, one of them is wealthier than the other one, you're going to tell me you're not going to take that deal. Bullshit. You know why you would take it? You know fucking why you would take it. See, that's the thing. A lot of these narratives that people, especially men, try to forward this idea that, oh, he's poor, but he's a good man and he treats people well. Bullshit. I've seen poor men act like assholes. I've seen rich men. Assholeness does not discriminate based on your class. There are assholes in every ethnic group. There are assholes, especially with men, in every economic bracket you can think of. They're all over the place. So, www, either changeyourbehavior.com or get the fuck over it and stop trying to impart moral judgments on people that you don't understand or don't want to understand, because you are obviously one of those individuals who is trying to dupe another person into thinking that you're the good guy. Maybe you're not, and maybe she's smart enough to know that you're not, and that pisses you off because you can't sell her on bullshit. I think that's what makes a lot of these dudes mad, that women know a raw deal when they see it. And they're just like, oh, man, she fucking got me. Oh, I love it. So no, this isn't the 1950s. These women are going to get up and leave. They're going to be like, you know what? If you don't value my time, my expertise, my resources, go fuck yourself. That's what they're going to do. They're just going to say, yeah, we're not feeling it. You can go fuck yourselves. You know, we're just going to take our knowledge, our experience, and we're going to go overseas, or we're going to go maybe across the border. Maybe we'll live in Canada. Who knows? But we're certainly not going to give our time and effort, and we're not going to pay taxes that go to you so that you can use our money to fund programs to control us, to tell us what to do, how to live, because it's not a democracy anymore. Or oh yeah, they'll be like, well, it's a representative republic. Yeah, well, it's not a republic anymore either, is it? So pick whatever words you want to use. Neither a republic or a democracy is a theocracy. A theocracy is a theocracy. And women will make decisions not based upon what their boyfriend thinks or what men think. They're going to base their decision on what's good for them. And if they feel that they're unsafe, if they feel that their rights are not being respected, if they feel that they personally are being disrespected, there's going to be consequences for that. So the next problem why this birth rate shit is going to basically just it's going to fall right. This whole project it's going to crash and burn. This whole we need to boost the fertility rates thing is going to fail for yet another reason. And let me tell you what that is. Let me give you the little scoop, okay? People don't care what other people think anymore. There's no respect for anyone, and you can't force human beings to adopt your values. You can't force human beings to do anything. I was laughing so hard when I heard that the Ten Commandments were going to be placed inside of a classroom in Oklahoma or something. I was laughing because I know something that you fuckers don't know. Or maybe you don't want to know because you're blind and you're delusional. If children can't even grow up without repeating their history, if children are literally ignoring what their teachers are saying, why the fuck would they listen to you? Are you people fucking dumb? Have you ever been in a classroom with some of these kids today? I'll tell you what happened in 2011. In 2011, I was trying to listen to a history teacher give a lecture. And while he was doing it, there were several narcissistic children talking over him while he was giving the lecture. It wasn't enough that they didn't give a fuck. They gave so little of a fuck about it that they actually talked over him. And he let him do it. He just basically acted like they weren't even there. I couldn't understand what this guy was saying. I felt distracted. I didn't feel like I was able to learn in that environment. And you know what? There's an entire generation of children who it doesn't matter how much force you use. It doesn't matter what you say to them. They're not going to learn. You can't force people to learn things. And also, your fucking book, the whole the idea of moral learning is supposed to take place over the course of a lifetime. Moral learning is something that you can't force. Like a person sometimes has to spend an entire lifetime realizing why revenge is a bad thing, why not forgiving people can be a bad thing. You can't force these things. What the fuck is wrong with you? You know what's going to happen? Those kids, if you do start using force, they're just going to tell you what you want to hear. They won't give a shit. They'll just tell you what they want to hear until they can get the fuck away from you, i.e. graduate. And then they're going to do their own thing. They're going to tell you if they don't drop out, they're just going to basically spoon feed you everything you want to hear. You'll be so convinced of your victory only to have the illusion of it. While these children don't give a fuck. So they'll lie to your face. They'll be like, oh, yeah. They'll tell you, they'll give you all the answers you want them to give you. But then they're going to go on thinking whatever they think, and they're going to do whatever they want. If you think you can just force people to accept your values and replicate them, you don't know anything about the human condition. You're embarrassing yourself. In addition to that, got a little bit of a extra spice here. Do you think that the parents of the people who disagree with what you're doing are simply going to allow you to teach their children whatever they want? Do you think that they won't pull their children aside and say, this man's teaching you a bunch of bullshit. Don't listen to this man. Do not respect this man. Do you think that the parents of teachers are just going, especially if you have a parent who's non-religious or who's Muslim or who's anything else, do you think they're just going to sit by and let you do that and not tell their children, don't listen to him? The other part of the problem with this too is that the public has a general disrespect of institutions now. They don't respect them. And it's because of stuff like leaving the Tulsa riot or massacre, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Leaving stuff like that out of the history book, that will create and engender a sense of distrust between people and institutions and educators. So if people don't even trust institutions, why would they start trusting you just because you believe the same religion that they do or you allegedly do? No, the parents are going to pull their kids aside and go, listen, you see that man over there? He's full of shit. He's a bullshitter. He doesn't even really believe what he's saying he believes. He's not a real put in word, whatever denomination of Christian you are. He's a fraud. Never take him seriously. See him forever as the joke that he is. That's what a lot of the parents are going to do who aren't down with the program. And so they're going to undermine the legitimacy of all of these people. And that's funny too, because these people have spent years undermining other people's legitimacy. Well, if you do that, you realize people are going to do that to you too, right? They're going to start undermining your legitimacy and saying you aren't legitimate.